Tower in 2017.
The incident, of course, revealed thousands of other buildings which had been clad in dangerously combustible materials.
The Housing Secretary, Michael Gove, has announced developers have pledged a combined £5 billion to remove the cladding, but campaigners have pointed out this falls well short of the £8 billion it's estimated to actually cost.
Well, our reporter Ellie Costello joins us in Westminster, where cladding campaigners are protesting a little bit later today. Good morning to you, Ellie.
Now, good morning, Eamon and Isabel. Yes, as you say, this is an issue that affects hundreds of thousands of people all over the UK. And today, at about lunchtime, there are going to be hundreds of people protesting here, and they are members of the End Our Cladding Scandal campaign. They are calling on the government to lead an urgent effort to fix this cladding crisis. Well, I'm joined by a member of that group now, Paul Afshar. Good morning to you, Paul, and thank you so much for joining us on Breakfast with Eamon and Isabel. So why are you protesting today?
Well, this is personal for me, like many of the people who are at the protest today. My flat is a clad flat. It's unsellable. I've been stuck with it for 2 years. And this is years after the Grenfell tragedy as well. Now, the problem with me is that my developer hasn't stumped up any cash, and it doesn't look like they will at all. So you've got people like myself up and down the country, all over, who are wondering who's actually going to pay for the bill that's going to come through, which is potentially tens of thousands of pounds.
And give us an indication of quite how widespread this problem is, because this isn't just Grenfell, is it? And it's not just London.
That's absolutely right. It's people like myself who've bought their first property in good faith. It's also people who are at retirement age who've used their retirement savings to invest in a nest egg. So you're talking about at any age all over the country, in big cities, in small towns.
We've just been hearing from the government. They've revealed a wide-ranging agreement that will see the industry contribute £5 billion to address the building safety scandal. You say, and your group says, that this doesn't go far enough, do you?
It doesn't nearly go far enough. It's a step in the right direction. Parliament itself has talked about a bill of £15 billion just to solve the cladding crisis. So this is a bit of the way there, but not all of the way there, I'm afraid.
What more needs to be done? What will you be calling for specifically today at lunchtime?
What I would like Michael Gove to do is back up his tough words with tough action. If he said that developers who aren't going to contribute will be blacklisted from government contracts and from building, then he absolutely needs to follow that up. I will have a lot less anxiety and a lot fewer sleepless nights if my developer is brought to the table by force, in this case by government.
You touched upon it there. This is something that really affects you, isn't it? It affects your daily life.
It is. My entire life has been put on pause. I can't really sort of get rid of the flat. I can't plan anything for the future. I've just recently got engaged, but really can't do very much about that, to be honest, because we are stuck in this horrendous Groundhog Day with dangerous cladding on the property.
Well, Paul, if Michael Gove was here now, the Minister of Levelling Up, what would you say to him?
Bring all the developers to the table by any means necessary. Otherwise, government needs to stump up the funding and get it back from the industry.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and I probably will see you a little bit later on at the protest. Well, Isabel and Eamon, the government say they're going to ensure that all leaseholders are fully protected in the building safety bill, which they say will become law in the next few weeks. But as you just heard from Paul there, this is a really emotive issue. We're stood not even 5 miles from the site of Grenfell Tower, where 72 people lost their lives 5 years ago. So we will be expecting hundreds of people out here at lunchtime.
Ellie, thank you very much indeed. With that, we'll take a break. Coming up next, meet the nurse who took